What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is snowblower season, and I wanted to show you the quickest possible way to both diagnose and repair your snowblower that won't start. I've got a couple different videos on this, but you'd have to search to find this exact information, and so I'm going to do my best just to put it in one short video. So this one just came in, won't start. I haven't done anything with it. And a lot of times the owner will say, I've done all these different things and tried this and put a spark plug in and all this stuff. So I want to show you just the quickest couple of steps to take to diagnose. First thing we're going to do with anything is just make sure that it's got oil in it. And an important note here, we want to make sure that the oil is not way over full. In some cases, you'll have oil 2 inches up the dipstick, and what that's indicating is that the float in your carburetor has gotten stuck and gummed up, and your entire contents of your gas tank has run into the crankcase and filled that with gas and oil very bad. So you want to double check. We do have nice clean oil right at the full mark, so we're in good shape. Next thing, we'll just go ahead and give this a straight up test and just see what it's doing. So make sure your key is in if you have one. I like to prime it a bunch of times just to give it its best chance. We'll put choke on full. Choke's very stiff, so that's already indicating to me that the carburetor is gummy. Let's see what happens here. No start, just to be sure. Make sure we have fuel. Yes. Let's smell the fuel. It smells okay, but that's not always an indication. A lot of times, the worst fuel that you're going to have is in your carburetor bowl itself, not in the tank, because people will generally put fresh gas in on top of bad, and so this will smell fresh, but it's not really. Next thing we're going to do, it's a little bit tricky on these engines in particular. These are on a lot of your Troy-Bilts, in this case a Remington, your Power Mates, MTD, just stuff like that. It's hard to get to the carburetor, but what we want to do is take some starting fluid, carb cleaner, brake clean is what I use, and we want to directly give it a spray into the carburetor, so I'll show you that here next. So if on your engine you do have access to the carburetor area, or the throat of the carburetor in other words, you're just going to give that a small spray of one of those 3 chemicals I mentioned, and then pull the cord and see if it starts for a few seconds and then dies. What that's going to do is indicate that you have a carburetor issue, you need to pull it off and clean it or replace it, and I have many videos on that. In this case, on this engine, since we don't have access, all we're going to do is remove the spark plug using our spark plug tool. The reason I say that is because they make these so tight you can rarely get a socket in there. Notice that our spark plug is totally dry, so we're not getting any fuel. That's another indication that we have a carburetor issue. What we're going to do is just give a shot right down in the spark plug hole. My can is almost empty, so hopefully we get enough. Put our spark plug back in, and then give it a pull and see if it starts for a few seconds. Okay, spark plug is back in, wires on, and we'll give it a pull. So that's it. If it does start for a short time and then die, you know that it's a fuel problem because you are bypassing the carburetor, giving it fuel directly, and it runs until it burns off what you've given it. In that case, I'm going to pull off the carburetor and clean it, see how we get by. If it does not start, and you try a couple times, make sure you're giving it enough fuel and pulling it enough times. If it does not start, then you need to move on to testing your spark and make sure that you've got spark, that there's not a short somewhere, or a coil or a spark plug or something like that. But I would say 9 times out of 10 with the fuel test you will find your problem. So I'm going to move on to pulling the carburetor off, and I will make a video on this engine in particular right now, and then I'll link down below my other possibilities of engine that you might have and how to replace the carburetor. So hopefully that helps you. Happy snow blowing. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe as always, and I'll see you on the next video.